The first big red flag in any relationship is the lack of communication. Communication is the backbone of a healthy relationship. For example, have you ever felt like you're sending messages into a black hole, like there's no one on the other side? You send a message, you wait for hours, and then you get nothing back. And you keep checking your phone to see if you got a reply. When these texts go unanswered for hours and you get no callbacks, it leaves you feeling disconnected. One thing to be aware of is how long does it take her to get back to you once you reach out? And you see, I understand there's a little cat and mouse game, and us men, we're culturally pressured to chase. But I don't agree with it, and I think it shows a lack of respect if the other side is playing games with you. And maybe it's not a deal breaker, but it's something to be aware of. Is she playing games with you? Do you want to play games? Because I don't, and I believe we're on the same page. But it's not just about quick replies, it's about the quality of communication. Are your conversations actually meaningful, or does it feel like you're the one keeping them alive? Healthy communication involves active engagement from both sides. So if she's consistently distant or always responds in short answers, that could be an issue. And I'm all for checking in and making sure she's okay, she's not going through anything, but if this is an ongoing issue, it should be discussed and it should be resolved. Which leads me to another very common issue in today's world: one-sided effort. And I say it's common nowadays because social media has really put all of the weight and pressure on men's shoulders. I mean, think about it. We have to approach women very carefully, by the way, so that you don't get called a creep or a boy. Then if you get lucky and get her number, which by the way, you have to ask for, then you also have to plan a date, make reservations, pay for it, and then hope that it goes well and that you get something out of it, whether it's a second date or whatever your goal is. The effort that goes into modern dating is imbalanced, and we all know that. But there's a limit. If you're the one always putting in effort, it's gonna get old quick and that relationship just won't work. Effort is a shared responsibility in a relationship. It's natural to put effort into making sure things work out, especially at first, but it shouldn't always be one-sided. Relationships are all about mutual contribution, emotionally, mentally, physically. So if you're the one constantly planning dates, initiating conversations, trying to resolve arguments while she seems indifferent, uninvolved, that's a red flag. Feeling like you're carrying the weight of the relationship on your shoulders can be exhausting. That's because a healthy relationship needs equal investments from both partners. Both parties are contributing to the growth of the relationship. And when the effort is imbalanced, then you should just discuss those expectations openly, because it can become a real issue that can completely tear your relationship apart and bring a lot of arguments, frustration, and pain into the mix. Which leads me to another massive red flag. The relationship is stressing you out rather than bringing you joy. Look, I think every relationship is gonna go through hard times, but happiness is fundamental in any relationship. It's normal to have that occasional challenge here and there, but when being with her consistently brings you stress instead of joy, that's concerning. Relationships should uplift and support you, not drain you emotionally all the time. So make note of how you feel after spending some time together. Are you left feeling anxious, constantly worried, emotionally exhausted? You have to know the difference between the normal ups and downs of a relationship and then that constant stress, arguments, or just that negative energy all the time. Healthy relationships should bring you joy, growth, emotional fulfillment. And toxic ones bring you constant tension, anxiety, fear, stress, which needs to be checked. If you're feeling stressed, alone, or you just need to get things off your chest, our sponsor BetterHelp makes that so easy. And I always say this, men can and should talk to a therapist. It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually the opposite. It takes strength and it takes confidence to take action and talk to someone. It's a powerful tool for men who want to become the best version of themselves. BetterHelp connects you to a therapist specialized in whatever challenges you're going through, whether it's social anxiety, building meaningful relationships, or maybe you just need to talk to someone to ask questions without being judged. You sign up online, you schedule sessions as a phone call, a video chat, or even messaging if you prefer that, so you don't have to sit in an awkward waiting room. It's discreet, it's judgment-free, and on your schedule. Now, if you've always avoided therapy, I want to give you two main reasons to try it. One is learning more about yourself. How long do you spend thinking about your emotions, dissecting why you feel a certain way? Probably not that long. We tend to suppress that, and a lot of guys do. Therapy is going to help you understand the core of those emotions. A lot of times we feel stressed, we feel lonely because of those unresolved issues from the past. Maybe a long time ago you got rejected by your crush in school, and since then you've been so anxious, so nervous to approach any other girl. And you would be surprised at how common that is. In therapy, you're going to be able to discover those issues, which allows you to address them and then move forward. And the second reason is that therapists aren't just random random people. They're professionals. They can offer insights, perspectives that friends and family might not. I always thought, you know what, I'm good. I don't need to talk to anyone. I have it under control. But therapy does bring up points that I wouldn't have thought of, and just that by itself, being able to hear a point of view from a professional, something that you wouldn't normally think of, it makes you go, you know what, that's a good point. Maybe that's why I've been having a hard time making friends, and that's so worth it. And you can always stop if you don't like it, or you can swap to a different therapist if you don't like your first one, which BetterHelp offers free of charge if you're not happy with yours for whatever reason. Be open-minded, hear me out on this one. Click that first link in the description. It's betterhelp.com/Alex Costa, and you even get a discount on your first month. Okay, so this wouldn't be a complete video on red flags if I didn't mention this. Being in a serious relationship and nowhere to be found on her social media. And I want to add a little caveat here. There are exceptions. If she's a public figure, or she doesn't have social media, or she doesn't post, then yeah, of course, that's fine. Or if it's not a serious relationship yet, of course, it makes sense to not show each other online. Every relationship is different, but social media can reveal a lot about a person's commitment level. If she's reluctant to acknowledge your relationship publicly, or if she portrays herself as available, it's at least worth discussing, right? Because transparency and alignment in how you present your relationship in the digital world, it's kind of funny that you have to do that nowadays, but this is an important conversation that you should have when you decide to be in a serious relationship. Okay, this next red flag is controversial, but I'm just looking out for you. And that red flag is having an OnlyFans. If you're watching this and maybe you've subscribed to my channel, then you know my high level of commitment to help men elevate themselves through fashion and style, through the right haircut and grooming routine, through relationship advice. If you're not a subscriber yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button below and join the over 4 million subscribers here on the channel. All men like you working on themselves. But let's tackle this topic of OnlyFans. And specifically, I'm talking about the nudity or the sexy photo shoots wearing basically nothing. And of course, the whole business of charging men for private messages and exclusive content. And honestly, I don't personally care if it's a source of income or a form of self-expression. When it comes to a committed relationship, boundaries and comfort levels, that's all that matters. As you know, I'm single now, and recently I felt ready to open myself up to new relationships. And a lot of times I'll be on Instagram and, you know, a beautiful girl will pop up and I'm like, all right, let's check out this profile, let's see, and boom, there it is. Her OF link. And to me, that is an immediate disqualifier for a serious relationship. And look, it's possible that she needed the money or she has good reason to run that OF account. I just don't care. It's not worth my time pursuing someone who does that. See, the problem with OF is that these beautiful girls, they're making so much money, tons of cash, fairly easily. And so it would be really difficult for them to give that up. And on the flip side of that, as a man, you don't want your woman to be exposed to thousands or millions of other men selling them photos or exchanging intimate messages online. You need to have open conversations about what each partner is comfortable with regarding online presence and the impact that will have on the relationship. Everyone's going to be different, but transparency, respect, and understanding each other's boundaries are key in navigating these modern aspects of relationships nowadays. This is a new thing, a new topic that should be addressed early on if this happens to be a part of your relationship. It's actually pretty interesting that this is something that you need to think about, right? And me especially, being so active on Instagram and being such a part of this culture, it's something that I definitely look out for. And like I said, it is an immediate disqualifier for me moving forward. Side note, I would recommend you not to support this at all. I think OF is a genius business idea, but morally, it just feels wrong. 99% of the time, you're not even messaging the actual girl. They have a team replying with whatever you want to hear. So just some advice for you guys going into 2024. Maybe make it a goal to not go on that platform. Make it a goal to not spend any money on OF if it's something that you do now. And there are 5 more bad habits that I would stay far, far away from. All right, I go over those habits in this video here. Check out the description below to get matched with a therapist at BetterHelp. And thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, and I'll see you again soon.